Hi there, boys and girls. Look who we have sitting together today. It's Charlie Brown and Mr. Spider. Yeah, Mrs. Neve, thanks for helping me with my arachnophobia. I'm not scared of spiders anymore. That is wonderful news, Charlie Brown. Sure is. What helped you with it, Charlie Brown? Well, the biggest thing was remembering that God is bigger than spiders. Oh, absolutely. Way bigger. Yeah, I did the C-verse thing. I cast my anxiety on him because he cares for me. And when I was praying about it, Mrs. Neve, I remembered something from God's Word. What did you remember? That God wants me to be strong and brave because he's always with me. That's right. The Bible does say that. So that helped a lot. It also helps to remember that I'm bigger than spiders. Oh, yeah. God is way bigger, but I'm bigger too, right? And then the fact that spiders, God has a plan for them. They eat a lot of bugs. That's right. We'd be overrun with them if it weren't for spiders. Yeah, so I remember Helen from the book Be Nice to Spiders, and that helps a lot. And you know what? The play therapy was good too. Oh, yeah, did you enjoy it? Right, I've even got my toy scorpion right here. Oh, yeah. And you know what? Our nonfiction selection today is about scorpions. Really? Cool. Cool. I'm going to sit right in front, Mrs. Neve. I'm not going to be scared. Wonderful. You boys have a seat, and let's get started with our nonfiction selection, Scorpions. Okay, we'll find our title page. Here it is. Scorpions. It is by Tamara Green and illustrated by Tony Gibbons. Here's your table of contents, and we'll start with the first chapter, Getting to Know Scorpions. If you ever go camping in warm parts of the world, be sure to watch out. Creatures called scorpions might just be around. In all, there are about 650 different types of scorpions. Wow, that's a lot of different kinds of scorpions. Some are tiny, less than an inch long. Well, you know how big an inch is, so even smaller than that. But others can be 8 inches long. Wow, 8 inches. Let's take a look and see what 8 inches looks like. Here's our ruler. We'll start over here on the left, of course, and find the 8. So from here to here, 8 inches. That's how big some kinds of scorpions can be. Pretty big for an arachnid, huh? But God is bigger, right? Where do scorpions live? What do they eat? Where is their stinger? Do they always attack? And what is likely to happen if they do? Read on and learn about these extraordinary nocturnal creatures that can sometimes prove to be dangerous. Body talk. It's not easy to spot scorpions in the wild because they mostly move around by night. They're nocturnal. Even then, they will usually be aware of your approach. Approach means somebody that's coming to you if you're coming towards the scorpion. They will rush to hide in the nearest hole, beneath a piece of tree bark, or maybe underneath some dried leaves. Yeah, they are more scared of you than you are of them, just like the spiders. Scorpions, like spiders, have 8 legs and belong to the arachnid family. As you can see in this illustration, their bodies are divided into segments, and they have a pair of large claws that look like lobster claws. The scorpion's cephalothorax has 4 parts, each with a pair of legs. Then comes the abdomen, at the end of which is the stinger. There's the stinger, that pointy part right there, for which the scorpion is so famous. At the front of the mouth, right here, is a pair of small pinchers. These pinchers are used to hold food. Now he also holds the food with the claws too. Let's see. Male and female scorpions look very much alike. Even experts find it hard to tell them apart. Well, taking a closer look at this diagram here, would they mention the claws here? Those are, remember we saw something like this in the spider diagram yesterday. These are the pedipalps, that part where the spiders and the scorpions use to hold on to their food. Where in the world? Scorpions sometimes turn up in unexpected places, but most scorpions like warmth. They are usually found in desert areas. Deserts such as the African Sahara, Arizona's desert, and the Australian outback all provide ideal habitats for scorpions. They don't live around here. They also like to live in rainforests such as those in South America. To avoid the excessive heat of the day, they burrow into the ground or hide under stones. But scorpions have another way of cooling down when it's too hot for comfort. They straighten their legs and stand so their bodies do not touch the ground, as you can see in the illustration below. This allows more air to circulate around their bodies, and this lowers their body temperature quite a bit. Okay, so you can see by the way they drew this with the shadow there that he's standing up above the ground on like the tip of his toes kind of thing. And that way air can move around underneath his body and help cool him off. Wow. God thinks of these things, doesn't he? Nighttime hunters. Scorpions are greedy by nature and may occasionally spring out during daylight to catch a passing insect from a burrow entrance. But most scorpions hunt at night, and they generally avoid the light of day. In darkness, the scorpions see even less well than during the day. I guess they don't have very good eyesight. But they are highly skilled at picking up vibrations through their bristles and can sense the approach of a juicy meal. So like the spiders, they can feel the vibrations. That's the shaking. Their claws are ideal for holding on to victims, and the small pinchers at the front of their mouths are well suited for grasping as well. Only if they meet with resistance will they actually sting their meal. So resistance would mean if the insect or prey is trying to fight back. So if they were trying to fight back, then the scorpion would use its stinger. It's not so much their victim's flesh that the scorpions are interested in, however. It's the body fluids they seek. In fact, scorpions drink much more than they eat. So that's like spiders too. Remember how they suck up the juices from their prey? Scorpions do that too. Pretty cool looking picture there. Looks like one is dining on some kind of flying insect there, and this one has a lizard. As you can see, it's nighttime. They are nocturnal. Tail stingers. A young boy collapses. Lying there, sweat pouring from his face and body, he suddenly finds it difficult to breathe and begins to vomit. That means to throw up. His limbs go numb, limbs his arms and legs, and he can hardly feel them. Then, all of a sudden, he starts foaming at the mouth. There's no time to lose. He must be rushed to a hospital so doctors can save him. He has been stung by one of the most venomous scorpions of all. Venomous means poisonous. Unfortunately, humans do not have good enough hearing to recognize the peculiar sound made by the desert creature as a warning to animals that are approaching it. The scorpion had been rubbing part of its body against one leg to produce an odd purring noise, but the boy was unaware of this. He didn't hear it. Now, not all scorpions have a dangerous sting like this. In fact, most are only dangerous if they're annoyed or provoked. So, like we said, usually, you don't bother them, they won't bother you kind of thing. And many scorpion stingers are no more dangerous than wasp stings, but some can be very dangerous. So most of the scorpion stings are like getting stung by a wasp. Yeah, it hurts, but you're going to be fine. Now, when a scorpion is angry, it holds out its pinchers and curves its tail right over its back, ready to stab the victim with its stinger. There you can see a picture of one holding the tail, the abdomen over its back. Okay, so you do want to be aware that scorpions can be dangerous. It's like, you watch out for bees or things like that. But you don't want to live in fear of them. Just be aware of them. And the good news for us is we don't live in the desert. So we really don't need to be concerned about it. Yeah, if you're traveling to that part of the world, you would read up on it and just be aware. God is with you. Be strong and brave. Duel to the death. The South American camel spider struck a threatening pose in the sand. It was a savage carnivore, measuring just 6 inches across. Okay, so we're going to see a duel between a spider and a scorpion. And this is your South American camel spider right here. Can you see it? There you go. So another member of the arachnid family. So it's about 6 inches long, so that's a little shorter than that 8-inch one. Here we go. There's up to the 6 inches there, so from there to there. So this is a pretty good sized spider. But it says, even so, it would dare to attack a lizard that was far larger than itself. After all, its terrible jaws were perfect for snapping at bigger beasts. For the moment, however, no desert lizards happened to be close by. So, this awesome-looking camel spider was chasing a scorpion. It had spotted one that was scurrying under a rock to seek shelter from the midday heat. So it's going after this scorpion here that is going underneath the rock. The camel spider shared the scorpion's need for shade at this time of day. In fact, that's how the camel spider got its scientific name. Let's see if I can pronounce this right. Solifugae, which means creature that hides from the sun. Well, the nearsighted scorpion had not noticed the predator's approach, so the scorpion has not seen the camel spider yet. It merely sensed some vibrations. It could feel the shaking, but it didn't know what it was. It mistakenly thought the vibrations came from a creature that would be good to eat. So the scorpion's thinking he's going to have a meal. So the scorpion ventures out from its hiding place under the rock. And then it comes face to face with the 8-legged camel spider. Okay, here's the duel between our scorpion and our camel spider. Who will win? At once, they begin to spar. That means to fight, just as human boxers do. The camel spider instinctively knew that it had to attack where the true danger lay. Viciously, it bit the scorpion's tail and severed its stinger. Severed means cut off, so it bit the stinger right off of the scorpion. For the scorpion, it was all over. The camel spider had won. So this time, the camel spider is the winner, and he gets to eat dinner. Wow. Amazing things happen out there in nature. Scorpions by name only. Some animals have the word scorpion as part of their name, but they are not actually related to the true scorpion. Among these are scorpion flies. Here's a picture of a scorpion fly right here. Scorpion flies are not venomous, however, and they are not a scorpion. They live in Europe and North America, mainly in woodlands and hedges. So, the scorpion fly is not a scorpion. It's an insect. Scorpion fish are so called because, just like the true scorpion, they can be extremely venomous, poisonous. They store venom in some of their spines. So here you have the scorpion's fish, obviously not related to the scorpion. Here's another one down here. Whip scorpions, like the one below, have some characteristics in common with true scorpions. For example, they are nocturnal hunters and do not like light. One type has a long, thin tail or whip at the end of its abdomen. It also has claws for catching prey, which it will then crush. Another type has no tail, but long whips for legs. Whip scorpions do not sting, but they can secrete a substance that will cause intense irritation. Whip scorpions usually walk sideways, like a crab. Okay, so here you have your whip scorpion. Now, you can see the tail does look like a whip. And it is an arachnid, but it's not a true scorpion. And then you have this one up here called a false scorpion. False scorpions are distantly related to true scorpions, but do not have a stinger and are only about a ½ inch long, so they're small. They usually make their homes under stones or in rotting vegetation. One type, the book scorpion, crawls around in the pages of old books. False scorpions can travel backwards as well as forwards, and use another form of transportation. Get this. They hitch rides on flying insects by grabbing the insect's legs and hanging on for dear life as they take to the air. Well, my goodness, these false scorpions, which are not true scorpions, but they are arachnids. There you can get a look at it. They're small. They're small enough that they could, if they want to hitch a ride, they might latch on to some flying insect and ride along. Amazing. Do you think they have to buy a ticket to do that? No, probably not. Did you know? Are scorpions insects? For a living creature to be called an insect, it has to have 6 legs. Instead, scorpions belong to a class that scientists call arachnids, all of which have 8 legs. Spiders and mites are other members of the arachnid class. So are, the name just escaped me. It will come to me. I'll let you know in a minute. Is it true that scorpions sometimes glow in the dark? Ooh, they drew a picture of one glowing there. Scorpions have a substance on their bodies that will glow under ultraviolet light. If scientists need scorpion specimens, they will sometimes search for them by the light of an ultraviolet lamp. This makes the scorpions shine a greenish yellow, which makes them easy to spot. So they don't glow on their own, but if a scientist is hunting a scorpion, they need it for an experiment or something, or to study them, they'll take special kinds of lights out to the desert and shine them, and it will make the scorpion glow like that. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, and I thought of the name of that other arachnid that we know, ticks. Ticks are a kind of arachnid, so you do have to be careful of them. Okay, do scorpions drink? Scorpions can go without water for several months. Wow, that's a long time to not have to drink. This is important since so many of them live in desert conditions. Yeah, there's not much water in the desert. Scorpions get most of their liquid in their bodies from the insects and other prey that they eat. But they do actually drink water from time to time. So they get most of their water from the creatures that they eat. Remember, they kind of suck up the juices. Yeah. Why do scorpions sing? And what does it mean? Some types of scorpions make a singing noise by rubbing the bottom of their claws against the first pair of legs they use for walking. They make this sound when ready to attack as a threat to their enemy. Interesting. Is it true that scorpions are cannibals? Cannibal means they eat their own kind. So will a scorpion eat another scorpion? Just as they can survive without water for a long time, scorpions can also survive without food for months. But if they get extremely hungry, the larger scorpions may try to eat smaller scorpions. So to answer the question, yes, they will eat each other if they're very, very hungry. Is it true that scorpions like fire? Scorpions may be attracted to the glow of a campfire, just as moths are attracted to an electric light or the flame of a candle. So when sleeping or cooking outdoors in regions where scorpions are known to live, keep a careful watch for them, and be sure all campfires are completely extinguished after use. That means put out. fires can spread very easily and quickly, so that's two good reasons to put out the fire when you're done with it. You don't want to attract scorpions, and you don't want to catch things on fire. Yeah. Don't worry. They're not in our part of the world. If you go camping around here, no scorpions. Do scorpions have enemies? Lizards, some birds, snakes, and baboons can all be enemies of the scorpion. So apparently there's some birds and lizards and snakes and baboons that like to eat scorpions. And that is our last page. Fascinating facts about scorpions. What'd you think, Charlie Brown? Well, it was fascinating, Mrs. Neve. And, even though we would have to be careful of them if we were hiking in the desert or something, we still don't need to be scared. We just need to be smart. You're absolutely right, Charlie Brown. God's with us. He will help us. Yes. Hey, Mrs. Neve, now that I'm not scared of arachnids anymore, can we sing that song, The Itsy Bitsy Arachnid? What a good idea. Let's do that. Okay, get ready. I'll set you down here, Charlie Brown. You need your climbing hands or climbing fingers ready for your arachnid. It could be a spider. It could be a scorpion, huh? The itsy bitsy arachnid went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the arachnid out. Out came the sun and evaporated all the rain. And the itsy bitsy arachnid went up the spout again. Nice. Good job, Charlie Brown. Thanks, Mrs. Neve. The itsy bitsy arachnid. Well, thanks, Mrs. Neve, for giving us that book. You are welcome, Charlie Brown. Thanks for joining us, boys and girls, and being good listeners. And always remember, boys and girls, be strong and brave because God is with you. Absolutely. Love you guys.